Hey there! Today we continue our series on Stoicism, where we go through the entire Enchiridion by Epictetus in the translation of Professor A.A. Long. And we had ended up, pardon me, with chapter 17. I am sorry. And chapter 17 is a rather short chapter, but I think a very important chapter. So here we go. Keep in mind that you are an actor in a play that is just the way the producer wants it to be. It is short, if that is his wish, or long, if he wants it long. If he wants you to act the part of a beggar, see that you play it skillfully. And similarly, if the part is to be a cripple, or an official, or a private person. Your job is to put on a splendid performance of the role you have been given. But selecting the role is the job of someone else. An important point, and I think a point that resonates with a lot of people. First of all, when Epictetus here writes producer, he didn't actually write producer, he wrote something like playwright, I think. But this is just a metaphor for the divine providence that sort of is in control in the mind of a Stoic, right? In control of the universe. And that could be anything that you could consider that probably in the mind of the Stoic to be Zeus, right? The most important of the gods in ancient Greece. But it could also be the laws of nature, anything you want it to be, I think, especially in this day and age. So in any case, no matter how you interpret what that producer is, it's the thought that really counts here. The thought is, we can control a lot of things in our lives. We can control certain things. We can control whether to get married or not to get married. We can control to have children or not to have children. We can control, we can be in charge of whether we pick this car or that house or whatever. These are all big things. We're also in control of small things. Will I buy this brand of toilet paper, or shall I buy that brand of toilet paper? Right? These sort of banal choices are important as well. But there are a lot of things of which we are not in control, and we have discussed this many times in this video series. I think it is very important to realize that there are certain things of which you are not in control. Now, we have gone over that many times, so you can check out some of the other earlier videos in this series, including the very first one, where we start with this dichotomy of control, right, as the Stoics would refer to that. Things in your control, things out of your control, and those things that are outside of your control, you should not worry about because they are outside of your control. So it would be pointless, if not to say the road to madness, to worry excessively about those things that you cannot even control. But that point has been made. Right? We're now moving on to something else. Let's say that some aspects in your life you cannot fully control. Right? For example, everyone wants to have a great job and be a millionaire and have an enormous house and have a nice car, probably too. But we don't all have that, right? Now, the point Epictetus is trying to make, and I'm not sure if I agree 100% with what he's saying there, is that your path in life has been carved out. This is how it is going to be because the playwright, the divine providence, Zeus, God, fate, your destiny, whatever it is, something has determined what your path in life is going to be. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure if I fully agree with that, because I think to a large degree you are in control. However, having said that, there's another point I want to make here. So let's work on this premise for just a minute, that yes, there are certain things in your life over which you have little control, right? Then what? Like, for example, life throws you a curveball and you lose your job, right? You're not really in control, right? Provided that you have always done a good job, you have worked hard, you've shown up on time and all those things, it's not really within your control. Maybe your company needs to save some money and maybe you were the one who had to go, right? That's not within your control. You were not in control about that. Now here's an interesting point that Epictetus makes that I think is more interesting than this whole aspect of some divine providence being in charge of all this. What he says is very clear, right? If he wants you to act the part of a beggar, see that you play it skillfully, and similarly if the part is to be a cripple or an official or a private person. Whatever it is you do, you can choose to do it well, and to do it with dignity, and to do it in a way that is honorable. Because there is one thing you are always in control of, and that, to a Stoic, is very important. You are always in control of virtue. You doing the virtuous thing. You can choose to do the right thing, or you can choose to not do the right thing. And then, by definition, you are doing the wrong thing. And there's a lot of gray area in between those two. But you can always do the right thing. And if you have setbacks in life, it's very easy to say, well, this always happens to me, and other people always have it easy, and I always have this. Yeah, but here's the thing. You are not other people. You are you. And you are in control of some of the things in your life. And the one thing you are always in control of is virtue. Doing the right thing. And as you are doing the right thing, pardon me, you will lead a life of eudaimonia, the rich and fulfilling life. You can choose to bear whatever life puts in your way in an honorable way, or you can choose to complain about everything, disagree with everything, rebel against everything in a negative way, complain about everything, and not enjoy anything. You're in control of that, right? But it's a matter of making a decision. Making a decision to act virtuously and to deal with those curveballs that life has thrown you. I am not saying that that will be easy, because in some cases it may be very hard. But your life will go on, right? And you have to accept that. And you choose, or you can choose, to do these things in the best way you can. Everything you do, you strive to do in the best way you can. And then, so be it. Maybe you have lost your job or lost a loved one. These are severe things, right? But they are severe in the mind of a Stoic because you make them severe. You're in control of your thoughts, right? You choose to do the right thing. You choose to do things the best way you can. Then no one can blame you for anything. You have done what you could do. And that's an important thing. You do everything the best way you can. And then, by definition, you're a winner. You are a winner because you do everything as well as you can do it. Now let's talk about that other thing for just a second, where you may compare yourself to others and may say, well, they have this and I only have that, or their car is nicer, or they have this. I had a conversation with a friend not too long ago, and about different things that were happening in our lives, and she described some of the things that happened in her life, and afterwards I felt a little jealous, and I thought, I wish I had those things in my life. But then I realized that that is a very unstoic thing to think. Why would I compare myself to someone else? And most importantly, why would I want to have someone else's life? Because in reality, that is the outcome of what I was thinking. I wish I had that aspect from her life in my life. But here's the issue. That is her life. And her life is her life. And my life is my life. So if I wish to have this out of her life, in my life, that would be about as useless as for me to wish that I was a chicken, right? It's not going to happen because I am not a chicken, I am a human. That person's life is that person's life, and yours is yours. Now again, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. A Stoic would never say, well, just give up, it doesn't matter because nothing will happen, it's all worthless anyway. Not at all. Because I just said, you try to do everything as well as you can within the parameters, within the limitations, within the options that you have. And as long as you do that, you do all those things as well as you can look at yourself in the mirror every day, every morning when you wake up, every evening when you go to bed, and you can say, I did what I could. The best way possible. And that's it. And then, no matter what role or part the playwright has written for you, you've done well, because you've done it the best way you could. If you've lost a job 5 times, 6 times, but you have really worked hard, then what blame is there? There's no shame in that. You have done what you could, and there's no reason to feel bad, because you have chosen the path of virtue. You did it the best way you could, and that is what matters. And I genuinely believe that if everyone continuously make that decision, I choose right now to do the best thing that I can do given these parameters, given these circumstances, given what is going on in my life, the world would be a better place. But forget about the world. My concern is us. What happens here? My concern is that you feel well. So give this some thought. Whatever it is you do, you give it your best. And then, as a result, you have nothing to be blamed for. All right, that was it. Hope this was useful. We shall continue next time on chapter 18 of the Enchiridion. I'm glad to see you later. Bye-bye.